Rory McIlroy, the reigning Masters champion, recently addressed the controversy that arose during the PGA Championship, explaining why he chose to remain silent with the media throughout the tournament. His decision to skip interviews after his round sparked debate among fans and commentators, but McIlroy revealed several reasons behind his choice, rooted in both personal and professional considerations. During the PGA Championship, McIlroy decided not to engage with reporters, an action that is allowed under PGA Tour rules but often draws criticism from the media and fans alike. He admitted that his performance during the event was below his expectations. "I didn't play well," McIlroy stated, explaining that after his rounds, he preferred to focus on practice or rest rather than face the press. For example, on the first day, after a disappointing round, he wanted to practice instead of doing interviews. On the second day, a late finish meant he wanted to be with his young daughter, Poppy, before bedtime. Later in the weekend, after a long delay that pushed his tee time from early morning to early afternoon, he simply felt exhausted and eager to return home. However, the media silence was not just due to fatigue or poor performance. McIlroy was deeply involved in a separate controversy that overshadowed the event: the news leak about his driver failing an equipment test. Testing of golf equipment by the PGA of America is a routine process, and players' test results are supposed to remain confidential. Unfortunately for McIlroy, his driver was found to be non-compliant, but this information was leaked by two media members before any official announcement. What frustrated McIlroy was that Scottie Scheffler's driver had also failed the test earlier in the week, but that information had not been leaked. McIlroy knew about Scheffler's situation but chose not to reveal it publicly, respecting the confidentiality of the process. The leak placed McIlroy in a difficult position, as he felt unfairly targeted. "I was a little pissed off because my name was the one leaked, even though it was supposed to stay confidential," he explained. He emphasized that he wanted to protect Scheffler, the equipment manufacturer TaylorMade, the USGA, the PGA of America, and himself from further complications. McIlroy expressed frustration that despite his efforts to keep things private, the leak forced him into an unwanted spotlight. McIlroy also clarified that his silence was a deliberate choice to avoid saying anything in the heat of the moment that he might later regret. He wanted to handle the situation carefully, recognizing the sensitivity involved and the multiple parties impacted. When asked if he regretted avoiding the media, McIlroy was firm. "No, I have no regrets." He reminded fans and journalists that media appearances are not mandatory under PGA Tour rules. "If we all wanted to, we could bypass traditional media and communicate directly with fans on social media," McIlroy pointed out. He advocated for mutual respect between players and the media, acknowledging the importance of the platform journalists provide, but also underscoring players' rights to privacy and control over the public statements. McIlroy has long argued that requiring players to speak to the media should be a formal rule, not an expectation. Until such regulations exist, he believes players will continue to skip interviews occasionally, and that this is their right. In summary, Rory McIlroy's silence at the PGA Championship was motivated by a combination of poor performance, family priorities, exhaustion, and a desire to handle a sensitive equipment controversy with discretion. His candid explanation sheds light on the pressures faced by top athletes and the complex balance they must strike between public accountability and personal boundaries.